Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Wow, busting down from Staff Sergeant to Master Sergeant is no joke. Sounds like he had that coming for many ranks before that, though. Some people have such talent for being promoted while being less than useless. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Military malicious compliance. Way back in the late 90s, I was serving out my initial enlistment with the U.S. Army, assigned to a unit at Yongsan Garrison in Seoul, South Korea, when I was pulled kicking and screaming from my platoon to serve as the company's training ammunition manager. Enter Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt. He did not get along with anyone in the rear echelon and would find any reason to interfere with your day, assigning tasks such as cleaning the latrines, servicing the company vehicles, general custodial duties around the office, regardless of what projects you were working on or the deadline to have it completed. One fine fall morning, I was working on a report headed to the battalion TAM. This report, literally MS PowerPoint slides, was time-sensitive and needed to be completed as soon as possible so that the BN TAM could write his report. Yep, more slides. Master Sergeant Pain in my butt walked into company area, took one look at me and said, "Specialist OP, you have time for coffee, you have time to sweep the parking lot." I stood to at ease, said, "Master Sergeant, I need to complete this report to..." "I didn't ask for your excuse, Specialist." I raised my voice so that the entire office could hear. "Master Sergeant, Buck Sergeant, BNTAM wants this report ASAP." As anticipated, Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt also raised his voice. "Sergeant BNTAM can wait." "Yes, Master Sergeant," and out to the parking lot I go. Yes, I managed to suppress my grin. About an hour later, I see Sergeant BNTAM walking across the parking lot. "Specialist OP, I need your report." "Yes, Sergeant. Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt assigned me to sweep the parking lot." "Did you tell him that I need your report?" "Yes, Sergeant. Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt told me that Sergeant BNTAM can wait." "Oh, he did he?" Yes, Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt had previously annoyed Sergeant BNTAM, and Sergeant BNTAM knew that I had teed this one up for him. And off Sergeant BNTAM goes. I continue to rather slowly sweep the parking lot. Right around lunchtime, I hear the BN commander's voice coming from the company area on the other side of the parking lot. While I can't make out what's being said or to who, someone's getting torn a new one. Remember the adage that crap rolls downhill? Turns out that Sergeant BNTAM went straight to the BN commander and informed her that we would not be able to generate his report because Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt had me sweeping the parking lot, even though I had informed Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt that I needed to complete my report, and tells her that Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt said that she can wait while Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt has me sweep said parking lot. BN commander goes and rips the company commander a new one. Company commander rips First Sergeant rips Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt, and Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt screams at me to come see him right the F now. I slowly jog, not run, not walk, over to Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt and stand at parade rest in the company area. Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt proceeds to scream at me with spittle flying everywhere, including on me, and while poking me in the chest with his finger, accuses me of lying. Unfortunately for Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt, everyone had heard him say, "Sergeant BNTAM can wait," including, as it turns out, the company commander and First Sergeant. Master Sergeant Operations comes running over and pulls Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt off me, tells me that I'm free to go to lunch and to return at 1300 hours. I tell First Sergeant, who had come over too, that I will be going to the Inspector General's office immediately after lunch. A police report was also filed. When the dust settled, I was reassigned back to my platoon, huzzah, and Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt took non-judicial punishment, reduction in rank to Staff Sergeant, for conduct unbecoming, assault, battery, etc., etc. A month later, I was told to show up at the NCO club there at Yongsan. Everyone, including the battalion commander, was very, very grateful for the departure of Master Sergeant Pain in the Butt, and it was a much more pleasant working environment for everyone. And since I don't drink, everyone bought me all the free designated driver soda that I could handle. My enlistment ended 2 months later. And our second story. Just do your job. When I was a passenger check-in agent for an international airline, I had the pleasure of meeting tons of people from across the world. Unfortunately, that also meant I met a lot of a-holes in my line of work. One of them stuck out in particular. When passengers came in from a connecting flight, most of the time they're not informed that they're transferring flights. This also means that they had no clue that they're flying with another airline with a new set of rules and policies. There's a lot of rules we have to follow. The most common issue we get is with carry-on luggage. Guys, I get it. You don't want to pay for extra checked-in luggage. You have very important things and want to keep on you at all times. It just seems ridiculous that airlines are being that strict about carry-ons and what you can and cannot carry. Trust me, I completely understand, and I'm here to help. But not if you're going to be an A-hat. A-hat rushes right up to the counter with his two friends who are also traveling with him. I notice that they're coming from a connecting flight, and I begin to check them in normally. Now, it's time to check their carry-ons. I weigh A-hat's carry-on, and it weighed like 11 kilograms. According to policy, carry-on luggage can have a maximum weight of 7 kilograms, but we try to be flexible. Me, excuse me, sir. I'm sorry, but your carry-on is too heavy to be brought on board. It's currently at 11 kilograms. Is there any way to remove some of the weight? A-hat, what? Me, I'm sorry, sir, it's a safety issue. Your A-hat, I travel with this bag all the time, and I've never had this problem. Why didn't you guys tell me before? Me, I'm sorry, sir, your previous airline has different baggage allowance from ours. Is it possible to remove maybe 2 kilograms from your carry-on? I can let it go at 9 kilograms. He begins to angrily open his bag and remove some items. He gives it to their friend to hold. The bag is weighing at 10 kilograms. A-hat, well? Me, I'm sorry, sir, it's just a tiny bit over. Do you think you can remove 1 more kilogram? A-hat, are you kidding me? Unlike you, I actually have to be somewhere. You know, this wouldn't have been a problem if you just knew how to do your effing job. At this point, I've never been openly yelled at like this at the counter in front of everyone. A-hat's friends were actually pretty nice and tried to calm him down. Even my supervisor looks over to me with concern and sees if I need her help. I smile back to her and let her know I'll handle this. After all, the customer's always right. A-hat finally gets his carry-on to 9 kilograms. A-hat, there, are we done here? Me, I'm sorry, sir, but according to airline policy, carry-ons can only have a maximum weight of 7 kilograms. A-hat, what? But you said 9 kilograms. Me, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm just doing my job. A-hat, you... At this point, you can see him starting to become bright red in the face. Whether it be anger or embarrassment, I don't know. He holds his tongue and angrily removes items until the scale reads 7 kilograms. Me, okay, weight's good, but I have to check the size. Then I took his carry-on and brought it to a mock carry-on container that measures its size. It did fit, but I had to do my job, right? Me, your bag did fit the model that we have, but I have to make sure. 1 second, please. I took a measuring tape that we rarely used and proceeded to measure the carry-on's length, width, and height just to waste his time. Me, additionally, can you please answer the following security questions for me concerning your carry-on and checked-in luggage? By the time he'd gotten his boarding pass, it was well over 30 minutes. He snatched his boarding pass and stormed off, screaming my absolute favorite saying, A-hat, I'm never flying with you ever again. The cherry on top? As A-hat walked off, I made sure he heard me say this to his friends. Me, oh, your carry-ons? They look fine. Here's your boarding pass and enjoy your flight. And our last story. Neighbor is trapping me on my property over easement issues. To set things up to the best of my ability, we purchased this property a few years back that makes use of a section of property someone else owns to access. Nothing was ever signed or agreed upon that ever led to a discontinuation of this easement, and it's one that goes as far back as when the two properties were divided between siblings. To my knowledge and what little I could make out on my own, I believe this falls under Oregon's implied easement. The issue began a couple of years ago when the neighbor grew tired of my mother's husband tracking mud through the paved road that makes up the easement on his tractor. Some of our property extends beyond a river, and the only bridge is of course via the easement, and opted to try and stop whatever easement agreement's in place. The trial still is ongoing and stagnant. Our lawyer feels flaky and unresponsive at best, but also confident in having us continue to legally use the easement in the end. Because of the layout of the property and the fact that a lot of the land around the river's ground we're unable to build our own bridge over, that's not been an option for us. A few months ago, my mother and her husband left the property in my care to settle into a new place in Hawaii, and since then, the neighbor has opted to step up his rights to his property, initially starting with traffic cones blocking our driveway. He then upgraded to chaining a large section of gate to our fence that covered half of our driveway. After calling the city police on the matter and getting in contact with the lawyer, it was recommended that I cut the chain, which I then did. For doing so, I ended up with a county deputy calling my actions aggressive and severe, and that he could arrest me as I'd had no intention of replacing the chain and lock at this time. The neighbor has at least one camera facing this section of property and claims he has papers that he showed the deputy saying that the trial was in fact over and the easement was no longer in effect. Our own lawyer denied this, and I'm largely uncertain where things stand in the court case, though I do know it's still indeed ongoing. The lawyer did end up talking to this deputy, who ended up denying that he ever said he was going to arrest me and only said it was an arrestable offense. Since this happened, I've installed a call recording app on my phone so I have more accurate evidence in the future. After this incident, and I did indeed end up replacing the chain and lock, he's proceeded to upgrade this area further. The piece of gate covering the driveway became a fully installed gate with a steel pole in between two doors. Today, he's chained and locked these gates to the steel pole, which completely traps me on my own property. I'm uncomfortable cutting through again for fear of facing more cops threatening me with jail time. This neighbor's issues are with my mother and her husband, and yet he's chosen to use me as a punching bag and lock me onto my property. I've never spoken or even seen this neighbor and only know his name. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.